Hello and welcome back to another video, and at this point this is becoming a daily thing, so welcome to another rant. This one I'm going to try to keep pretty short, but I do want to touch on some really important topics, and as you can see, I'm ranting about the Gears of War 4 business model. Now, the business model, if you actually have watched my other rants, is always something I brought up, and I actually wanted to get to making a video about it, but the problems that are in the game are actually so much more serious and so much more relevant that I just never really got to the business model because, I don't know, I could use Twitter as a way to complain about the business model since it wasn't bugging me as bad as just absolutely not enjoying the game. But with that said, I'm going to give you the base understanding of what the current business model is, and then I'm going to explain why I didn't actually go and make my own video for it just yet and why I am now. So the current business model is this: you buy the game for $60 base. Now, that if you buy the season pass and all that, that's different, but you buy the game for $60 base, and they have built-in microtransactions. Now, microtransactions are not anything new to, you know, the gaming world now. However, there have been some additions to microtransactions over the years, and the most recent, more popular, is RNG microtransactions. Now, this is, if you don't understand this, it's fine, I'm gonna explain. RNG stands for random number generator, and it means that it's random. You have a chance, there is a probability, there is a, you know what I mean? There's a back end to it. Now, these crates, much like many other games that we can list, have a RNG chance to give you some of the items, some of the rares, the commons, the cards, the skins, the characters, and that in the industry of gaming has become more and more popular because it keeps consumers buying more and more. You can't now just download the All Fathers DLC that comes with 2 characters, a map, and blah 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 blah. The model has shifted. Now they do season passes that comes with maps, or now they do you know, many smaller microtransactions like the RNG boxes, and you know, like specific skin purchases in other games, or you know, something like that, you know, character skins, something like that. And so it's become a much more prevalent model to use in gaming. However, I will say it's more seen in a free-to-play game, but that's also kind of evolved as where developers are now seeing that people are willing to pay these types of microtransactions for the content that they want, whether the game was purchased or not. So Overwatch is a good example. Overwatch is a purchasable game. You actually buy the game for $40. They have microtransactions. Now, for the remainder of this video, I'll be using Overwatch as my primary example in terms of this back and forth, because I do want to kind of talk about Gears in terms of where it sits in popularity to Overwatch. Now, Overwatch, I believe today or yesterday, was named GameSpot's #1 game of the year for multiplayer, #1 multiplayer game of the year, and it's gotten some other awards similar to that title. And I want to let you know now that in terms of being a good game, Overwatch shits on Gears of War 4. And I'm not just saying that as a fan, it shits on it. It has 1,000 times the player base. It's got, you know, it shits on Gears of War 4, and I need to get that out of the way to let you understand that when you're creating your economics of things, like when you're creating your market value of things, you have to create it based on the value of the current market. Now, the current market is not what is being bought for what price in Gears of War 4. It's what's being bought for what price, for what value within the gaming industry. Now, I'm going to show you a couple things. I don't know how long I'm going to keep them up on the screen, but you're going to see some of the crates and the costs and the amount that you get, and for Gears, and then you're going to see the crates, the cost, the amount you get for Overwatch. And this is all without talking about the value for your dollar. So let me talk about some of the items that you get in Gears oh so frequently. You get duplicate emblems, you get characters, you get weapon skins, and then you get the also popular bounty that I absolutely hate, because the bounty system is absolutely useless, and I've already talked about this, so check out my other videos, because the bounty system basically needs an entire rework, because they're actually devaluing crates, because I don't feel like actually anybody gives a shit about the bounties. Now, you might get a good bounty here and there, but honestly, the bounty system is pretty lackluster and could definitely see some improvements. So bounties, devaluing the crates, not making them as good as they could be, as if, you know, say there were no bounties, or the bounties were better and you were getting another skin, another character, or just a good version of the bounty system. Now, in Overwatch, you're going to see that you get 5 items. I believe it's 5 or 6. In Gears, you get sometimes 3 or 5. And the value of the items that you get in Overwatch are 1,000 times better. You get different voice lines. So you know how they talk shit in the game, or they talk shit to each other in Gears. You would actually get different voice lines in Overwatch. You get different things you can make your character say. You get different skins. You get sprays. It's kind of, I'm basically going to equate it to your emblem, because your emblem is kind of like your own flair to the game, as where sprays is actually better because it's your own flair that you pick, but you can actually spray it in the game on the wall. You get, I mean, the value is just so much better. You get different poses that you can do as an emo. Can't do anything like that in Gears. It's not that developed. It doesn't have that little thing in it. You get end game, you know, like your highlight video thing that you can use if you got play of the game. So there's a lot more content, way more content, much better value. When you get a duplicate item on Overwatch, it basically, you know, scraps it for you and you get credits back as a return. In this game, you can scrap it and use, you can literally scrap it and get scrap back. So the difference is, in Overwatch, you get more credits, and in Gears, you get scrap. So you can see there are very similar similarities there, you know, some similarities there. And but Overwatch destroys it business model wise. The game is cheaper, you know, like Overwatch is a cheaper game. It's just a much better developed game, and their business model is, it's so much better than Gears. Look at the prices now, and if you haven't taken a look at that, please do. And I'm gonna use the Elite Pack. It's kind of like, I'm going to use the Elite Pack as my example because I don't know. I don't even know which pack to use. It doesn't even fucking matter. In Overwatch, for $40, you get 50 crates. So we've already told you that the value per crate is much higher, and the price is almost 10 times lower in some cases. So let's take the UIR pack, because that's the one that's going to be coming up that's really kind of induced the rage, at least for me. The UIR pack is going to be $9.99. It's $10 for a single crate. And I believe there's going to be 5 items in it. So of those 5 items, you will probably get, let's say you get 1 bounty. And I've already established that, to me, a bounty is absolutely fucking useless. So I get 1 bounty, I'm at least getting, or I will max be getting 4 items. Of those 4 items, I might get a duplicate if, say, I'm opening my second crate. I might get a skin, I might get a character. So those are good, you know, decent value, but overall the value is so much lower per crate than something like in a loot box in Overwatch, because there's just not that amount of content. Not to mention, since there's less content, there is a higher chance to duplicate. And duplicating in Gears is just, well, it's not that great. It feels like shit, especially when you spend money. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be there, because that's kind of the thing that goes along with RNG crates and RNG microtransactions. But I'm willing to look past that fact. I'm willing to look past the fact that they are selling a $60 game that has RNG microtransactions if the value was higher and if the cost was better. I'm not going to spend $10 to $1 in Overwatch. You know what I mean? It just makes no sense. Like, your game is not on the level as a game like Overwatch, and like I said, I want to use that as the example, and you're charging almost 10 times more. It just makes no sense. Like, I need to believe that the Coalition does not have hold of this, that they might have some say, but they have to go and sit at a table and talk with Microsoft representatives about the cost of these items. This is ridiculous. This is an Xbox One game that has been struggling. I mean, the gameplay itself is not good. I mean, the gameplay is good, but the game itself, sorry, is not good. It's not a good game. We are waiting and fighting and arguing and ranting about how to make this game better. We've seen zero improvements. We see more and more and more microtransactions that are sucking the money away from their fans, and it's disgusting. I just can't take it anymore. I'm going to be honest with you. I do not support this game. I would not recommend this game to anybody else, and the only reason I'm involved with it is because I'm a 10-year fan. I'm a part of the competitive scene, and honestly, I don't know. I have to force myself to play it, and it's getting fucking old. So I hope they shape up. I hope they really listen to some of the criticism, and there's been some things I've heard other people say and read on Twitter that I don't even agree with. Like, it's not about the cost. $10 is not the problem. It's the cost in correlation to the value, in correlation to the current market. And like I said, the current market is microtransactions across gaming as an industry. they gotta go back to the whiteboard on this one. I absolutely do not respect these decisions. I do not respect these microtransactions. And the best example, or the best thing I said earlier on Twitter today was, I am more than happy to spend $25 to $50, maybe even $100 a month if the cost was there, if the value was there, steadily every month. I'd be willing to spend that if I felt like the money was worth it. But for these, there's not a chance in hell I'll buy a single pack. There's not a chance in hell I can even enjoy the game enough to grind up to 4,400 credits. Every game I play has a quitter. It's an unenjoyable experience. It's an unenjoyable experience that now is trying to suck the money out of my wallet. As a fan, I'm disgusted. As a consumer, I'm outraged. Hopefully that gives you some insight as to my opinion. I would sincerely love to hear yours. This is a joke. Thanks.